What's up everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are going back to 1986 to talk about Maximum Overdrive. After a comet causes a radiation storm on Earth, machines come to life and turn against their makers. Holed up in a North Carolina truck stop, a group of survivors must fend for themselves against a mass homicidal trucks. The film is directed by Stephen King and stars Emilio Estevez. I honestly watched this movie out of pure curiosity. I have heard conversations about this film before, and most of it was on the negative side. They was calling it an awful film. They see why this is Stephen King's one movie. And so going in, I was already in that this is going to be terrible mindset. And after watching it, the complete opposite happened. I end up falling in love with this movie. In fact, I even go so far as to say this is easily one of my favorite 80s movies. Now, with that being said, this is still a silly movie. For one, it shows its age a lot with how cheesy the movie is, especially with the AC/DC music that plays throughout almost throughout the whole movie. It sounds good, don't get me wrong, but I can very much tell I was watching an 80s film. And the movie itself is very campy. It's campy in its performances and also just the movie's overall attitude. There's one scene in particular that really just sums it all up. A man dies in this movie by a soda vending machine. When that happened, I already knew I was in the right place. It's a movie that doesn't take itself serious and just knows how to have fun. That's why I was so surprised to see that this is a Stephen King film because it's something I wasn't expecting from him. Not that none of his other writing from his other material isn't fun, but most of it tends to lean more towards the psychological horror side. With this one, he takes a different approach and have more action. And when I say action, I really do mean that this film goes for it in the mayhem department. Now, what I am impressed with is how spread it out it is. This isn't a fast-paced action movie. It still takes its time to tell its story, but when the action kicks in, it does not let up. Nowadays, we always complain about bad CGI and how we want more practical effects. Well, this film has plenty of that. There is so much destruction in this film. And you don't just only get big rig mayhem. No, you get grenades, machine guns, knives, even a rocket launchers in this film. When it turns into humans versus machines, it gets very violent. This isn't the most violent film I've ever seen or anything, but when it wants to get bloody, it is not scared to do so. They show people get run over. They even show people already dead and they get run over. There's a scene in this film I still think about today, and it's a chase scene on the interstate. And not only was I not expecting a chase scene in this film, but also one that's as well directed as this one. The camera just follows them. It never shakes. The cars are going super fast, but you can always tell what's going on. And the chase ends on such a rewarding way. And it's personally one of my favorite scenes in the film. This film surprisingly has a big scale to it. King did so well on using the budget to make this film really do feel like it's a big deal. Majority of the film takes place at this one truck stop, but the scenes that don't take place there really shows this film's production. You can tell just by the first sequence on the bridge. And the way it played out really did remind me a lot of Final Destination 5's opening. The biggest thing I can compliment this film on is how committed it is. This film doesn't care about how you think the quality of the film is. It just keeps moving. The film really does have that go big or go home attitude, and it really does go for it. It is a nice concept, and if given a second chance, I can see a more seasoned writer get this movie and change the tone and make it more serious. I can even see something like this being made today with all the technology we have. I also applaud this film for not being slow or dragging. The time it spends with its characters feels necessary and it makes us care just a tad bit about them. You're not going to fall in love with nobody in this movie, but I didn't find anyone annoying in this film to watch. Speaking of which, the performances in this film is about as good as you expect. It's very much 80s B-level acting, and everybody knows the type of film that they're in. Emilio was a great lead, and Pat Hingle was a great unlikable character. And it was even pretty cool seeing Frankie Faison and Giancarlo Esposito in their early roles, even though their appearances were very brief. But overall, I absolutely love Maximum Overdrive. It's a campy action horror film that doesn't hold back. It puts all its eggs in one basket and goes all out in its concept. It's a contained story that feels bigger than it is and isn't afraid to get violent. I do think if this film's to come out in today's time, I think people will be more kinder to it and genre fans will accept it more. But nevertheless, it's never too late, and I'm here to give its flowers. It's no masterpiece, but I'm sure you will have a great time with it. And that'll be all for this review. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and leave down in the comments if you've seen this film and let me know how you feel about it. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thank you so much for watching me. And I hope you subscribe and stick around because I got more videos on the way. With that being said, I'll see you with the next one.